اللهم آمين يا رب العالمين.
Resul-i Ekrem ve Nebi Muhterem sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem Efendimiz Hazretlerinin aziz pak münevver mutahhar-ı şeriflerine salavat şerifi getirenlerine ahir ve akıbette hayır olarak. Âle İsmail'in hafız evladı Resul-i Eshab'ın efendilerimizin hayır evliya izanlı Resulü fiyan hatıratın ervah şeriflerine dinimiz Gülal Habetullah Allah'ın Efendimizin Şeyhimiz Said-i Seyyid Şahsız Mehmet'in Rabbani Hazretlerinin Zalem bu caminin banisi ve bugüne kadar içerisinden gelmiş geçmiş İmam müezzin kaynlarının ve kahve ehli imanın ervahı için Allah rızası için El Fatiha. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alen-nebi. Ya eyyühellezîne âmenû sallu aleyhi ve sellimû teslîmâ. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala ali seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Nahmedullah Teala ve nestağfiruhu ve eşhedü en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh. Ve eşhedü enne seyyidina Muhammeden abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluh. Sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi. Ve sebet tabi khulafâ raşidin mahadin min ba'di. Ve zemmeti ala tahkik. Khususuhum minhum alâbti khulafâ rasulü ala tahkik. Umarul mu'minin. Hazreti Ebu Bakr, Ömer, Osman ve Ali. وعلى باقي الصحابة التابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. يا أيها المؤمنون الخازرون اتقوا الله تعالى فإن الله مع الذين اتقوا الذين هم محسنون. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. الله ولله الحمد. لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك له. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, who is the first, the last, the manifest, the hidden, the one who has might and power over all things. All praises are due to Allah, who sent Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ as the prophet of mercy to the universes. And may all peace and blessings be upon the Sultan of creation, the Imam of the messengers, the master of the prophets, the intercessor of the day of judgment, the beloved of Allah, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, and upon his noble family and blessed companions. Especially upon the Khulafa Rashidin, Hazreti Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazreti Umar Farooq, Hazreti Osman al-Ghani, and Hazreti Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, welcome to you on this holy day of Jummah, a Jummah that falls on the day of Eid al-Adha. May this day of Qurban be blessed for us and for the whole nation of the Prophet. May this day make us to be written as servants of Allah who are prepared to sacrifice for Him. This sacrifice is the foundation that Islam is founded upon. The Sahaba Kiram, the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, they sacrificed everything in the way of Allah. And it is through that sacrifice that Islam has reached to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored the sacrifice of the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the Holy Quran, saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And of mankind is he who would sell himself, seeking the pleasure of Allah. And Allah is full of kindness to His servants. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. The Sahaba Kiram, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, their lives are a message to us that has been conveyed through history. As our Shaykh, Sahibul Saif, Shaykh Abdul Karim al-Kabrisi, Rabbani, is teaching us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written their names with golden alphabets in the heavens. If we take their example to ourselves, then we will make progress in the way back to our Lord. Muslims today, however, especially those who have embraced this extreme liberalism, they do not want to follow the Sahabis. They say that they were pre-modern Bedouins. Why should we follow them? We are modern, intelligent people. We know more. That is why the Holy Prophet ﷺ said to his companions, if they see you, they will call you crazy. If you were to see them, you would not call them believers. Because the Sahaba Kiram, they had a full devotion and submission to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. If we want to learn what it means to sacrifice, we should look at those ones whose sacrifice has been praised by the Prophet of Allah. Hazrat Talha ibn Ubaidullah is one of the 10 companions who has been promised paradise while they were still alive. He was from one of the noblest families of the Quraysh and one of the first to accept Rasulullah ﷺ. Once, when he was in Basra, in Iraq, a Christian monk told him that a prophet was going to come out from the Hijaz, from Arabia. As soon as Hazrat Talha returned to Mecca, he asked, did anything happen after I left? The people said, yes, Muhammad claims he is a prophet and Abu Bakr is following him. Hazrat Talha ran to the Holy Prophet ﷺ's house and he accepted Islam. And he went through severe torture for that. One person is narrating saying, while I was making sa'i between Safa and Marwa, there appeared a crowd of people pushing a young man whose hands were tied behind his back. As they rushed towards him, they were beating him on his head. In the crowd was an old woman who hit him repeatedly and shouted abuses at him. I asked, what's the matter with this young man? This is Talha ibn Ubaidullah. He gave up his religion and now follows the man from Bani Hashim. And who is the woman behind him? I asked. She is As-Sabah binti al-Hadrami. She is the young man's mother. But he never dropped his faith. One day, one of the Quraysh tied up Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Talha together and called a mob of people to beat them and to torture them. But despite all this, Hazrat Talha became stronger in the way of Allah. After the Hijrah during the Battle of Badr, Holy Prophet ﷺ gave Hazrat Talha an assignment outside of Medina. So he did not take part in the battle, even though Holy Prophet ﷺ counted him among the Ghazis of Badr. He had a passion to prove himself, and he proved himself in the Battle of Uhud. When the archers abandoned their position, the area of the battlefield where Rasulullah ﷺ was standing, he became very vulnerable. There were only 11 men protecting the Prophet.
The enemies were rushing, trying to attack the Prophet because they saw the weakness of the position. And the Prophet said, whoever drives the enemy back will be my companion in paradise. Hazrat Talha asked permission to go. But Holy Prophet sent one of the Ansar who fought, and he died. Holy Prophet asked, is there anyone else? Hazrat Talha volunteered. But again, Holy Prophet sent someone else. 10 men came around, and they were martyred like that. Only Hazrat Talha was left. The enemy kept getting closer. During this time, the enemy had managed to attack the Prophet's face, and his blessed tooth was broken. Holy Prophet gave Talha permission to enter the Maidan, and Talha, Hazrat drove back all of the enemy who were trying to attack him. Just one man. He was being struck from every side, but with one hand he was holding the Holy Prophet, and with the other hand he was fighting. He then turned back and carried the Holy Prophet ﷺ up the mountain and put him in a safe place. They went back to fight the enemy. Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Ubaidah came to Holy Prophet, who told them, leave me and go to your companion Talha. When they find Hazrat Talha, his body was full of wounds from swords, spears and arrows. His foot had gotten caught in a hole, and he had lost his consciousness. He had more than 70 cuts on his body, but he had defended the Prophet ﷺ. Hazrat Abu Bakr used to say about Uhud, that day, that entire day, belonged to Talha. After the battle, the Holy Prophet ﷺ gave Hazrat Talha the title of the living martyr. He said, whoever wants to see a man still walking on the earth after he has finished his lifespan, let him look at Talha ibn Ubaidullah. Meaning that Hazrat Talha had died before he died. He had given himself up for the Prophet. He was a man of paradise walking on the earth. That is our example. He took the life that Allah had given him, and he returned it back to Allah. Because he understood that the life was not his own, it was a trust from his Lord. And as long as this passion was alive in the Muslims, nothing stopped them. No one was strong enough to bring down Islam. But the trick and the trap was to make the Muslims lose this passion. They said this is craziness, to have that kind of love for the Prophet, to have that kind of love for Allah. Be normal, work 9 to 5, run after your family, make attachments to the world, don't go so crazy to defend Islam. And it is because of this attitude that we are in the low position that we find ourselves today. It was not just the Sahaba Kiram who had that attitude of passion for Allah. 1400 years of believers, they lived that way. The glorious Ottomans lived that way. What did they live? They lived and they died for what they love. And that is why Allah gave them the honor and the power, because they are living for His sake. Our Shaykh is telling us the conquest of Istanbul, that before the battle, Sultan Mehmed Fatih Khan was putting on regular clothes and secretly mixing with the soldiers. Shaykh Effendi is saying, the Sultan entered into the tent of Hassan, and he was reciting the Quran. As soon as he finished, the Sultan said, MashaAllah, you're reciting very good Quran. You must be very beloved to Allah. He said, no, I'm not. I know that I'm not, because He didn't choose me from the first ones to fight for Him. Sultan said, well, the generals must know something, and you must submit. He said, yes, I submit, but I'm very sad that I'm not from the first ones. And the Sultan said to him, who are you? He said, I am a person from this village called Ulubat. It is not too far from Istanbul. And he said, my name is Hassan. And Hassan asked him, who are you? The Sultan said, my name is Mehmet, and I am from Edirne. Sultan is not saying that he is the Sultan. He said, I wish to see you after the war. Hassan looked at him and he said, how are you talking like this? I didn't come here to live after the war.
I came here to become martyred in the war. So the Sultan realized it. He said to himself, with these soldiers, I'm going to conquer the city. Ulu Batla Hassan, Hazrat Lari, has the honor of being the one who planted the flag of Islam on the ramparts of Istanbul. Although the arrows were piercing his body, he held that flag high. He held Islam high. Inshallah Rahman, in 1 month, we will remember one of the biggest sacrifices, that of the grandson of the Holy Prophet, that of Hazrat Hussein ibn Ali radiallahu anh, that he took himself and his family, the Ahlul Bayt, and they came to Karbala to make themselves qurban in the way of Haqq. Our Shaykh is from Ahlul Bayt and from the Ottomans. He also sacrificed everything from Allah. He gave up his youth. He gave up his wealth. He gave up his family. He gave up his time. He gave up his comfort. He gave up his health. And in the end, he gave his life as a present to Allah. We must try to walk in his footsteps. Oh believers, today is Qurban. If you want to be with the Sahabis and the Ahlul Bayt and the Awliya Allah in the next life, then just like the animals that we cut today, we must be prepared to submit our ego in the way of Allah. We have to spend our life in the way of Allah so that on Judgment Day it will be counted as a sacrifice to Him. There is no order to fight. There is no order to have war. The order now is for us to fight against our ego and against our desires and against this dunya, this world, and against the shaitan. Because the fight that is going to happen in the end will be between believers and unbelievers, not between Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus. It is between those who believe in good and those who don't believe. That is the time when all form is going to fall. Inshallah Rahman, we wish to spend our life in that way, to hold good and to hold justice, because this world has sunk completely into injustice. And we are prepared to have our lives to be in the way of justice and the way of truth until we die, inshallah. At that time, we will be with Allah's beloved ones for eternity. Inshallah, we will live to fit to the ayat from Surah An-Nisa saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All who obey Allah and the Messenger are in the company of those on whom is the favor of Allah, and the prophets who teach, the sincere lovers of truth, the witnesses who testify, and the righteous who do good. What a beautiful association. Sadaqallah al-Azim. And we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us in such an association in this life and the next. Ameen. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. La ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayhi. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك والحمد شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك والحمد شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك والحمد قدير لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك كنت من الظالمين سبح قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة والروح سبح قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة سبح قدوس ربنا إن دين عند الله الإسلام قام الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قام الصلاة قد قام الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله سيدنا مولانا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم